What's going guys, HELIOS here, back with another Borderlands 3 video. In this episode I want to show you Cryo off-tank flag build, so I hope you'll enjoy this episode guys. Don't forget to leave a like and click the subscribe button because new builds are coming soon on my channel. Also, I want to say thank you for all of you guys that recently subscribed to my channel. It means really a lot for me and I'm very happy you enjoyed my previous builds. If you're on my channel for the first time, welcome and be sure to check out previous videos. Don't hesitate to comment below what you think about the build. So now without any further ado, let's jump into the video. With this build, you'll be doing really insane damage to the enemies. I have tried this build on Slaughter Star and Slaughter Shaft and it melts. This build brings high DPS and health regeneration to the normal fade away crit flag setup, so we do high amounts of damage as well as tank a decent amount through our sustain. Like I said before, this build can clear Mayhem 3 Truthful Hunter mode Slaughter Shaft with bad modifiers and kill boss as well. There are also a lot of gears that are great for that build, so you don't need to have specific items, but we're gonna talk about items a little bit later. Now let's jump into the skill tree. I want to explain everything as good as I can, and I'm gonna start with showing you some items for this particular build. Since it's a cryo build, you are dependent on cryo weapons, that's not a surprise. In my opinion, the best possible artifact for this build is called Icebreaker. It increases cryo efficiency by 50% and bonus damage by 35% versus frozen enemies. So basically, after you freeze an enemy, you will deal insane damage to him. This artifact is good for freezing up the field and making the overall clear faster, while ramping up the crowd control of the Cryo Lucian Skull. Assault Rifle Lucian Skull with Cryo Elemental is gonna be our main weapon. This item is going to allow you to freeze multiple enemies without any problem, at the same time providing that much needed damage mitigation in the form of ground control. It also does great damage and synergizes well with Flag's proc chance oriented kill, allowing for him to spam fade away often. The important information is that Cryo Lucian isn't that good versus anointed enemies, so keep that in mind. In that situation you have to swap this into Burning Flacker, for example, because it's going to help you deal with them. Basically any good fire weapon can be swapped out for this. Alright, let's talk now about the class mod. Most of the mods are going to work well for this setup, it's really going to depend on the roles. The best option for mobbing most of the time is going to be the Cosmic Stalker class mod. Its perk increases Flag's hand skill power by 25%, so you equip this mod if you want to run and gun around the map. But then suddenly you meet a boss. In that situation, I recommend you to equip another class mod called Bounty Hunter. Its perk gives for Flag a chance to activate any purchase hand kill skill when dealing gun damage, but what's the most important, thanks to this class mod, bosses are now treated as humans, beasts and robotics for Flag's hand skills. There are two skills that synergize with this perk. Hunter's Eye and Interplanetary Stalker. If we match Bounty Hunter class mod and Hunter's Eye skill, we gain increased critical hit damage, armor damage and damage reduction versus any boss. Unfortunately, Interplanetary Stalker doesn't work like that because it's a kill skill. So if you want to activate it, first you have to kill something and then you can fight with boss. There are pretty much always a lot of enemies around the boss to provide you second wind, however don't hesitate to kill them to activate a perk from Interplanetary Stalker that increases your damage per stack and you gain stacks by killing enemies. Alright, so what about the shield? Personally, I use two shields. One of them is Anointed Transformer that converts 100% shock damage into shield, and the second shield that I use mainly is called Frozen Heart. This shield, when depleted, releases a large Cryo Nova dealing over 11,000 damage and freezing enemies. 30% of Nova damage is returned as health. I really like this shield because when there are a lot of enemies around you, it can freeze all of them, and thanks to the relic, we gain increased damage versus them. By the way, if you want to farm it, go to the Black Barrel Cellars and kill Aurelia, because this storyline mission boss has increased chance to drop a Frozen Heart. Good luck, guys. Let's talk now about the grenade mode. I use Cryo Generator Transfusion Tracker because it heals for 120% of health damage dealt and heals shields for 30% of shield damage dealt. It's really good option for that build. And the second grenade mode that I use is Cryo Cloning Hex. So as I said before, there are a lot of items great for that build, you can choose whatever you want. Alright, it's time to talk a little bit about skill tree. In the master tree, we put points into Persistent Hunter for that bit of extra action skill duration that makes clearing feel better on flag. We went through Hunter Red tree in attempt to stack up as much damage as possible, ultimately to end at Megavore skill. Megavore in combination with guns that ricochet, we allowed those extra shots to potentially crit, which will bring back cooldown from head count. This makes getting back into Fade Away much smoother, which allows you to keep up constant sustain. And what about the Stalker Green tree? We wanted to max out Furious attack, so our handling and damage. Due to us maxing out the Hunter tree, we'll be getting extra value. Even if you aren't running Cosmic Stalker, most of the time you'll get more value of the constant increase in damage and handling. We continued down this tree in attempt to get as much regen and HP as possible. For this build I choose Unblinking Eye and Gorillas in the Mist, but feel free to use Until You're Dead or Not My Circus. However, I'm not the biggest fan of the town due to it being such a small range as well as it having a delay, but it's my personal opinion though, don't treat it seriously. I choose Spider and Countess as the pet for additional health regeneration and damage reduction. For this build I use a lot of weapons, but mainly these 4 items. First item is Cryolution Skull, which is the most important. My example has additional weapon damage and fire rate. The second item is Cryo Nighthawking. Then we have Cryo Crossroad, and the last but not least is Cryo Laser Exploder. So I hope you enjoyed this build, guys. Don't forget to leave a like and click the subscribe button. Like I said before, new builds are coming soon on my channel. That's all for today, have a great day or night and see you in another Borderlands 3 guide.